That's the cough motorcycle.
Oh, you can't see that hand.
The clutch. All right, guys, welcome back to an episode of We Talking About. Today we're going to be talking about iZombie, episode 6, season 2.
That's correct.
I am half the time correct.
I'm correct at least 50% of the time.
You know, I do what I can. So I watched this episode very recently.
Yes.
But under the grogginess of death. So
Yeah.
I'm going to let you take the lead. Where does this episode start?
I love taking the lead. It starts with me being confused, and again, I don't know if it's because I'm on cold medication half the time now, I'm very sick, or if it's like whatever.
Yes, when he comes down all happy and weird shit's happening.
Okay, so like the last episode, and I had to turn back in like my notes or whatever because I can see that now. Like the last episode ended with like, Suzuki's widow giving Clive the brains and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But then Major comes down like, I just got laid, and he's all happy. And just when I'm like absorbing that, and I'm like, wait a minute, because he said condoms and like rock salt, so I guess they're banging now. I don't know what the fuck. And then like it cuts to like the courtroom steps and like the one shithead from last episode. And I'm like, no one ever comes back from last episode. But he's like rubbing his wrists and he's like, hey man, just whatever. And Clive's there. And I'm like, did I miss an episode? What the fuck is happening? Why is everything all what the fuck? And then like out of Fast and Furious, a fucking crash rocket rolls up in an Uzi, sprays them and shit like that. Yep. And I'm like, what is this? What's happening? Is there a whole thing? What the fuck?
Ooh, eggs. With the spatula, takes a bite.
And I'm like, those aren't your eggs.
And then he's
what are
like,
you doing?
Hey, what does he say? Like, hey, bacon, keep baking it or something.
What's shaking bacon or some shit like
bacon?
that? And I'm like, and then like Liv comes down wearing like the long shirt of like post-coitus long shirt attire, and I'm like, okay. I just assumed that that's all whatever happened or whatever. But it's not. We find out later.
Yeah, we find out they did not do anything, which is good, because apparently Ravi's done a whole shitload of tests, and the condoms don't stop the zombie virus.
Yeah.
Which I was like, what? So his rationale, his scientific thing was, the zombie viruses are too small. They pierce through the veil. Like I was like, what the hell does that mean? Is that even a thing? Is that possible?
I'm not a scientist, but I don't like.
Like, the covalent bonds of the plastic are too wide. The germs get right through.
They're 100 times, smaller than, like, traditional viruses or whatever the fuck. Viruses are already pretty small. I don't know if they're at, like, the size limit or how much virus size varies. But when they test condoms...
At a certain point, though, wouldn't it be like this glass jar? It can go right through the cracks in the pores. Like,
when they test condoms, I know, they, like, have, like, a thing that runs like they, like, submerge the condom unfurled into, like, water. And they're on like one side of it, there's something that like emits a very low charge.
Sure.
And on the other side is a thing that like detects if like the charge is getting through, and if it does, they like throw that condom away. I believe.
Okay.
There's a name for that type of testing, and I'm not sure or whatever the fuck. So I don't know if that makes sense. It's fine though, and for the purposes of the show, we can just assume that like I guess
that's just for the writers to be like, all right. That way nothing has to happen. We can have some tension and some bullshit.
And it gave Robbie some comedy of like, I bought every brand of condom, and he did all these tests and all this shit.
Yeah.
And I don't know. The writers don't want them to have sex for some reason. And they're like, there's other stuff. And I'm like, if the virus is that small, what stuff could you possibly do? Like, what are you talking about? This is like insanity to me now.
I was like... Because if it's the virus that gets through,
yes,
I'm like, the virus would be in spit, blood, like well,
everything. Yeah, and now that and
they've kissed, so
yeah, and now that it's a virus and not like who knows what the fuck. I guess you like scratching it like spreads it or whatever. But now
would
that
it
it's
matter
a
if you had
virus,
open wounds in your mouth because you'd be swallowing fucking a virus? Like,
well, that's the thing for AIDS that they say is that like if you have open sores or anything like a bad tooth or something,
this is 1,000 times
get
smaller.
It. Right,
it just goes to the walls of your membranes.
It just goes through the teeth. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that's a thing or.
If it can go through
whatever.
A condom, it could go through your fucking germs.
It should be able to go through skin and like everything or whatever. Yeah. And saying that it's a virus puts it in so much more perspective because now it's like, yes, it's in spit and everything. If she sneezes, if anything happens or whatever, it's like, okay.
No, it's dumb.
Confirmed for dumb. As usual.
So like the crime, and maybe I'm just like high off of lack of sleep. The crime in this episode is off a crime that already happened, right? Like, it's...
So this is almost like a part 2 to the last episode.
Yeah.
Last episode, the shithead that gets gunned down immediately was like a gambler dude and all that shit. We get a bunch of gambling shit in this because she has to eat his brain. And there was that fixer guy who, like, really did all the stuff. So that this was the fixer guy fixing his own shit by having that guy killed or whatever, right? So that, like... he would not be, brought up on it, but then they find something.
So
later.
the part that threw me that I didn't understand was, and was the Scooby-Doo, like, I caught you thing, was the Sheldon thing? What the hell was that? Who was he talking to? Why were there drugs in the turtle's tank?
I don't know. I think, so he's like, okay, they like, this guy's name is Thronk, Mr. Thronk, the fixer.
Mr. Thronk.
He's a lawyer, but you ain't been in a courtroom for like 2 decades. What are you doing for this company? Blah, 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 blah. Well, before he died, Mr. Cole said that you're the fixer who does the wet stuff. And he's like, I don't like to get wet, and all that stuff. Sheldon, he makes one call to someone, and he says, take care of Sheldon, do this, do that. And for part of the episode, they're like, is that code? Could Sheldon be this guy?
But who did he call? How did they know about that call? What is that?
That was his one call from prison, so it was like recorded.
You can listen to that?
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't have rights.
All right.
The law. I am the law.
So take care of Sheldon is what he says.
And it turns out that that's presumably the name of like the turtle.
Yes.
Or it just makes them think about the turtle. Okay, because like someone, I don't know who he called. It was someone connected with the whole thing.
But that person did not take care of Sheldon.
Yeah, well, so it was not an important person, or like whatever. It was just some like dude, either from the company or from Thronk's thing or whatever the fuck. That dude showed up though to like take care of Sheldon, which I think meant hide the drugs, do whatever the fuck, because that's where he hides his drugs or something like that in Sheldon's castle. But he was stopped because that's like a crime scene, and they were like, no, and then he's like, and the guy like ran off or like whatever, and that's what made them focus even harder on this situation. Yeah, so Clive's near the end when like the turtle's at the police station, Clive says, he tells that story. Someone showed up, said he had to feed the turtle, and no, it's fine, but like the guy was like, I have to call this in though, and the guy like disappeared, so I'm wondering if something's up with this turtle. And they like check it for messages or whatever the fuck and do all that. But then he has a little.
I love the way, and
this
is the same way they would do it in the DC world. If Babylon was an archaeologist, you would take the castle and just smash it.
Yes.
The whole bottom was open. Like you could just. Did you see when he smashed it? It turned sideways and the bottom is empty. You could have just pulled anything out of it.
Yeah, I know if it was empty or if it had like a flap that you could take out, because the cocaine had to get in there somehow. You could just take it out the same way. They just smash it for effect, or all that stuff.
I always love when those things happen and then like there's nothing in there. You're just destroying a priceless artifact.
Oh, but it's probably behind the painting. Oh, sorry. That was priceless. Oh, sorry.
Oh, thank God it wasn't worth anything.
Thank God. Oh, we're gonna have to pay like a lot. This looks really fancy. Anyway, I'm gonna leave. No, that's the whole case, I guess. Cocaine Castle. Whatever.
The case itself was not that exciting. She becomes a compulsive gambler with mild knowledge of things.
Well, no, and she gets in with so there's like a barbershop thing, a whole plot there. There's the pro guy.
We'll see them again, I have a feeling.
I liked those guys. That was nice. They were people.
I liked them too. The weird, sketchy guy who says how he would disappear a dude. He comes back in
and
later.
He turns out to be Stacy Voss. So like the dude getting the like shave or like whatever. As far as I'm aware, that is Stacy Voss. That's the guy.
Presumably.
And he does this thing of like, I think his picture's on that board. We have a policy against rewinding ever. But no, so like there's a guy getting a shave or something, getting like a whatever.
Yeah,
and
a little nerdy looking dude.
Yeah, some like snivelly dude. He's like, well, you know how I would do it? I would Skype the guy, get him to kill himself. Skype the guy with his family, his dog, whatever matters most to him in the life, and then tell him it's either him or them or like whatever. And then he's leaving, and the barber guy is all like, "What about the family? What about them? They're witnesses now." And he goes, "I guess you got to take care of them too." And then,
that would be my thought, though. I would never kill myself over Skype. I'd be like, okay, I will want to meet up in a public area when I see them get free. Then I'll, if it came to that, I'd shoot myself, or most likely I'd go out in a blaze of glory and shoot every bullet at you, trying to kill you.
You presume
personally?
You presume that it would get pretty grim and weird. They would be like cutting off fingers on Skype or something like that. But
that
like,
still would give me no reason to believe they're gonna live, though.
I know, and it's you know, this was like a speech given more for like this guy's a ruthless dude and all that shit. I totally agree. I don't know if people just Skype people. I don't know what's going on here, but that was the whole thing. Stacy Boss then is in with Peyton, and he's like correcting the board, and he's making deductions about like, you know, this information's good, but it's kind of old. So you probably only have one source. He was in my organization about 2 years ago, and like thinks he knows maybe it's Blaine or some shit now, and you're like, oh fuck, and all that stuff.
I think it'd be funny though if one of these situations you're getting Skype call blackmailed and you just like click OBS, hit record, upload that shit to YouTube.
Yeah, it's a weird thing to do these days, and it's a weird drop for Skype, which is already near like the end of its whatever.
They're sponsored by Skype.
We're owned in part by Microsoft, therefore we have to mention Skype.
It makes sense because they're always playing Xbox.
Wow, is it Xbox or PlayStation?
I thought it was Xbox One.
X-Bone. All right, barbershop, shady plots, all that stuff. I've crossed out most of my things that don't involve a little more living major. They meet up on like there's like a date between Clive and the other one.
Bet you $10.
They have a whole okay. We're not even talking about all the dumb gambling things because they're dumb.
They're very dumb.
Here. She starts gambling. She ate the brain of a gambler. She sees a couple of barely helpful visions about who's involved with what or whatever the fuck, and ties it together. Thronk gets pulled off, presumably now for the cocaine and not even for the murder, which is awesome because that's a nice way to just get rid of him. But yeah, they're out on this like date type thing, and it's like, is this a date? This isn't a date, and there's a bunch of stupid banter and ice cream.
If it's not a date, then why did I pay? You're not going to put out?
Are you saying I'm not going to get any out here? It's just like, I like her. Obviously, she has ulterior motives or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
But I like this like relationship taking form. If anything, I want Clive to get some. I want something to happen for Clive.
We'll see.
But that's also where Major hears about this woman who's investigating all these missing dead rich guys on behalf of the FBI. And he's like, I do things to rich guys, fuck, and all that stuff. And it's a whole fucking thing. That crosses out almost everything except for the Blaine stuff.
Yes.
There's some Blaine stuff in this episode.
Yeah, Blaine's dad comes by.
Yeah.
And he shoots our silent idiot in the face.
Yeah.
Not the head, the face. Like, it's like through the cheek, out the eye, I think.
I don't think that was intentional. I think he was trying to kill him and then just like sort of missed.
His bodyguard dude, like, you know, the dad's bodyguard dude, is this like little like pretty boy bodyguard dude who had to like lift his hand like all the way up to shoot that guy in the head.
It was like, shoot.
Yeah, it might have just been an off angle.
Yeah.
But that's funny. And also, I wonder if the bodyguard knows about zombies. Because I can't assume everyone does.
Yeah, they talked about zombies a little bit there, but you don't know if you're just hired help. Yeah. Like, you don't know all the rules or whatever the fuck.
No.
So he might have said, like, make sure you shoot him in the head, and he did that. But it just wasn't quite.
And even afterward, when he got back up, he's like, and like kind of fell again. So like, you don't know if he like, is he dying? Yeah. Will we see him next week?
I predict like a humorous thing of him with like an eye patch or something like that, and now he has to like cover up his whatever. He already couldn't talk. He's just a mess now.
Yeah, Blaine can pick him.
But Blaine's dad shows up and is like, you work for me now. He tells a story about torturing his makeup lady to get the information about all the shit.
Now, what did the makeup lady know?
Well, she knew that Blaine was not really a zombie and apparently somehow knew all of Blaine's clients because that's what his dad now says he knows.
Yeah.
Which is
weird. I guess, so his makeup artist makes him look like a zombie, but makes all his clients look not like a zombie?
Oh, you think that's it? She's like the one person doing everything? Because in my head I was like, why the fuck does she have the whole client list? That's dumb. But this makes total sense then.
Yeah.
If that was the person he was using for the whole thing. Awesome. Blaine later gets super drunk, and Liv comes and talks about that whole thing. He does a cool... I forget what he's doing at that point. He does another stupid accent or something like that, where I was like, I like you.
His dad's great. I like that actor.
Yeah, his dad's great. I like him, and I like his dad. So there's going to be hopefully more...
It'll be intriguing.
...with both of them. But so everything's getting pushed off. Blaine's dad wants Blaine to get him a brain of his like major competitor's like son.
Yeah, for insider trading and destroying him morally.
To, like, fuck with him and get information, right? So, instead of doing that, though, Blaine has the idea to instead kill his own grandfather and give his dad that brain.
Yeah, that's weird. And that was his grandfather. It looked like a lady.
Yes. It looked like a weird old mess. Which is fine, which makes sense, I guess.
So what do you think that's even going to do?
Well, the idea behind that was we're going to give you this brain. You're going to slop it up greedily to get all these secrets, and you're going to concentrate really hard to try to get visions. And they're all going to be visions of, like, you saying horrible shit to like, the person. You're going to, like, relive all the torture and pain that you've put this person through and all that stuff. And then you're probably going to go have Blaine killed immediately or something like that.
Right.
So I don't know what the long game is there. This is obviously, like, Blaine between, like, the getting drunk and, like, well, this is my last meal or something like that, all that shit. I was like, okay, Blaine is like, I'm fucked. It's fucked. I'm done.
Yeah, but luck has it.
Let's go kill my grandpa.
Luck has it that Major has him on his list.
Yeah. So while, like, literally dead grandpa's there with like a cut in his head, you know, Blaine's got the brain and he's packaging it up, and then his henchman runs in and is like, yo, remember that? Yo, your dad's on the news, like, missing or some shit like that. Now let me make sure this is the last thing or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, because the end of this, I called this shit forever ago.
I know.
And I'm so glad that it actually paid off the way I wanted it to.
I know.
So it turns out that Majors hasn't killed a goddamn person. He throws dummies in the water and he puts all our zombie people in the freezer because he knows there's a cure eventually.
Right.
And he'll cure all these bitches.
So I kind of hate this. I really liked the idea of him being like a murderer, like for hire, and that was like explaining his like drug use. That was a whole thing that was happening.
Because now it's like, why is there drug use? Why are you conflicted? What is the issue? Is it just because people are not near their loved ones for a little while? Like
why are you hitting bottom? Why? And you totally did call it. I'm not taking that away from you or anything like that. I was just like, you're like, the show is leading you to believe that he's throwing the people over. I don't know why he thinks someone's going to be watching him throw the people over and why he has to put on this whole show or whatever the fuck.
Well, people have watched
People
him, so.
are. We know that. I don't know why he would think that if he goes to the same. Maybe they tell him to, you know, where to dump the bodies or whatever.
I don't know. But if they're not checking on
I was just going to say, like, if they're telling him where to dump the bodies, why are they not recovering the bodies? He's like doing like a shot in the head thing, like the mannequins would be like shattering, and they're all lumpy and like real looking. They don't look like mannequins, but he has a storage unit full of mannequins and a freezer with like now 3 people in it.
Yeah,
or whatever.
I've never seen a storage unit that had electric in it.
Right.
But in TV, it always has that. Like, there's like the divorced man who like lives in this thing.
Yes, I'm writing my book. Oh,
yeah.
I'm doing the whole thing. Yes. And that band, I think, episodes ago was in like a almost like a. I don't know if that's just how they have their studio spaces in Seattle, wherever this show is. The freezer's already getting full. Like, Major 2 episodes ago already like passed up like getting a guy because like, I can't keep doing this because his kids run in and he's like, no, and all that stuff.
That's
like,
all just playing to us, the audience.
Yes, like none of that makes sense now that he's saving them all or whatever the fuck. Because those 2 bodies are like the original guy that he was watching the news footage of and getting high to, and then the other guy who was like, please take care of my dog, right?
Yeah.
Those are supposed to be those 2 guys, the only 2 guys we've ever seen. So it isn't like he was killing people and that was tearing him up and now he's stopped.
No.
And
no, it's an odd
I was really into the idea of things getting dark and like gritty and rough and like it's hard to like reconcile and all that stuff. Cause he's like, what's shaking, bacon? Gotta go murder someone who probably didn't deserve it. Like that was interesting. Now it's just like, oh yes, of course.
But
you
now
can't
it's even
really
like, okay, you get caught. Prove that zombies exist and you're a hero.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know what he's even worried about if he's not murdering people. Maybe you should start murdering people.
Yeah, much of it doesn't make any sense anymore. And why is
that's the theme of the show, though.
But he's fucking with the Max Rager people over like, yeah, all 8, not zombies. And she's like, yeah, that's not. Odds of that are really low. And he's like, oh, what are you gonna do? And they're like he's already like not in with like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
feel me on this?
He's not doing proper deep cover. He's not doing his job properly. He's taking drugs for no reason. He's fucking his life. He should already be a zombie again from the tongue action, and that's I think where we left off.
The viruses are going into your tongue. I wanted to mention too.
What's that?
Liv and Major have Skype sex or whatever.
Skype high card.
I was gonna say strip tea high cardy, pick a cardy, go fishy for clothing.
Yeah.
And they seemed really into that. And I guess again nothing has to make sense. But if they are naked in bed together after making out and leaving a trail of clothes that go up the stairs, why didn't they have sex? There's no reason to not have sex. Except, like, they were afraid of it. But then what were they doing?
No idea.
They had to be doing something that should be making him a zombie.
You'd think.
That bothered me so much. That, like, reminded me of, like, episode, like, 4 or no, like, 8 or something like that. When she's like, come on, like, let's be a thing. He's like, Liv, get off of me or something like that. I was like, how is this happening?
No, it's not.
What is going on? This has been building up for episodes.
The show is not super realistic in any respect, and it does have one of those feels of a show that has multiple writers, and it's like, okay, I'll write this episode, and you write next episode. Like,
right, because things don't...
Yeah, it's like, no, I was going for this cool thing where he's a trouble, blah, blah. Nope, now he's keeping him in a... What?
Do you think that's retconned, or is that, like... No, like just how it is.
I think it's all for the sake of views and like water cooler talk that they think they have like that whole week. Oh man, he's troubled now. He's on drugs. This is horrible. Blah blah blah. Can you believe he didn't really kill them? Oh my God, I knew he was a sweet guy.
It bothers me so much though, because it doesn't make sense now either way.
It makes no sense. Yeah.
God damn it! But what was the fucking? I'm very confused. Hold on.
Sure.
Season 2, Major has only been a zombie hitman during Season 2, or did that start in Season
1? In Season 1, he became a badass who was attacking things. In Season 2, he became a hitman.
Yes, because in Season 2, they brought him in and said, well, this is the cute massacre guy. We need this guy, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I'm just like, I'm trying to figure out if this could be retconned, or if this could be, like, not planned.
They're planning something, and it's not
something
good.
To excuse the fact, because if you were planning this, it doesn't make sense, and if you were not planning it, it does kind of make sense the way that it doesn't make sense. Does that make sense?
No. Do you think it makes sense? Let us know in the comments below. Have anything else for this episode?
We're on episode 6 of 19.
Correct.
Things are happening, I guess.
At a staggeringly slow rate, yes.
Yeah, is it time for predictions? Is it time for updates on all of that? Not like predictions per se, but like we're still definitely, I don't know if we're in filler town still, or what to call this.
I predict that by the end, all the people that in the freezer, and it will probably grow much larger by then, will be cured. They'll be cured just during a part where they're about to arrest Major for the murders of these people, and they're like, no, they're all here. And all those people, like, trying to have to not explain, like, not being a zombie anymore, will just go along with whatever is being said, and they'll be like, no, we're right. Let that boy go. I'm a lawyer. I'm a blah, blah. I'm a this. I'm a that. And that'll all be good. The girl...
somehow Liv will still not be cured.
Yes.
Even though there was a cure for other people.
Probably.
We're so early on. I don't know. I'm not feeling good in general about the whole thing.
Or she'll get cured and get like scratched like in the last second, and it'll be like her turning one more time or something.
I don't know. It's too far away to predict episode 19, but we were kind of hoping something would happen soon. I don't know.
All right, guys. In the spirit of not knowing, don't die in a fire.